Attention gamers. Last time on Iron Rift Adventures we followed the epic tale of Mr. What It Do, the blind boss of the Rift who was crowned the king of zoning queues, insane ward hops, ruthless negotiations with the shopkeeper, and teaching his teammates well-deserved lessons on the Rift by showing them that there is more to learn from a loss when they are fighting to overcome a disadvantage than from simply winning a 5v5 game. But today we are going to spectate an Iron 4 Gwen who is working hard to bring light to the power of rocking teleport ignite just about 110% of the time while only saying positive things about her. This is Iron Rift Adventures. Now, similar to the last time I did one of these, identities will remain hidden as this person could have kids and a respectable job and I don't want to ruin that, so we will just call our hero today, Super Sheila. And you can see right off the bat Super Sheila is like an amped up bull ready to be let out of the pen to destroy the dreams of those who want to ride her, and I think we can all agree this level of pre-game excitement is what every league player needs. Then, like the Chad team captain, you see her running to lane side by side, little pre-game pep talk with her teammates before sending him off and seemingly changing her mind about where she should start her day. And when Sheila arrives at stop 2 of her random Rift ritual, you may think a conversation about who called mid is going on, but actually she is just like a supportive staff line manager checking in with all her employees before the day starts. You know, let's have a good goddamn day type of motivational management tactics, pumping him up higher than his frosted mohawk tips, because getting to her own lane on time is much less important than the people around her being happy. But you forget that Sheila has this down to a science, like a hyper OCD folding his toilet paper into little triangles so she still gets in her spot on time, and thanks to that pep talk with the white tights Chippendale, he's now saying screw the jungle, just seizure yourself on those life-sized scissors and tell me what kind of cheese do you want? Feta? Fontanella? How about I just freaking flash and rough this pervy prison escapee up a bit to give you an advantage, which is exactly why Sheila bonds with her boys before the game. And as a courtesy gesture she will occasionally do a snip spasm as a warning mechanism for enemies to know to not get too close and to just shove some irony up the whole chivalry is dead shithole. But when 2 Chainz ignores the warnings, desperate measures are required in the form of stand stilling, and letting the roulette will determine round 1 of what will turn into the epic saga that will be known as Scissors vs Shackles. And you may think someone who seemingly doesn't know that you can change your sums to anything but TP and Ignite would know what a minion getting all Burning Man dramatic means, but the joke is on you, because Sheila is a businesswoman and would gladly pay 300 gold to get that cooldown from him so he can't use it to rotate elsewhere. #team player. Now, a lot of conservative Rift shitters may hold on to their defensive cooldowns, you know, in case the market crashes, but YOLO is Super Sheila's middle name and she burns them as she gets them to avoid blocking pointless poke. XD spaz out celebrations are in order, and since she knows a lot of people might try to emulate the click your cooldowns constantly strat, she demonstrates, for the sole purpose of education, what happens if you don't know how to play when your bitch bubble was used for seemingly no reason earlier. Then, while other people stress over the little things in life like min-maxing everything standing on the edge of the platform to get back to lane faster, Super Sheila takes the opposite approach, heading to the farthest corner to slip a stanky queef out as a courtesy to her teammates, you know, not to fog them up even if it adds to her commute. And this is what I love about Sheila. She is an independent thinker, like no matter what other people think of her or how many times she dies doing the same seemingly dumb shit, Sheila is her own damn person, which is why she burns her safety section again to let those hoodlums know not to even try and hurt her. But unfortunately, you give Gaston from BDSM Beauty and the Beast a taste, the dude throws any formalities of maintaining a mutual suck-assing at this game out the window. Dick. Now, I don't want to speak for Sheila here, but you can tell by her body language that switching to a safer strategy was in place until this happened. Chippendale Charlie baits the shit out of her by taking a walk through the adjacent neighborhood, and so what the hell do you expect her to have done? Wait undeterred until 2 Chainz inevitably and blindly pushes in so the jungler can flank? Fuck no, she needed to secure the bait before it was gone to the point where dying for the cause is worth, even if the cause turned out to be 2 weird sex fetish men playing tag and the one in the handcuffs winning. But here's the thing, when the majority of us mere mortals, backseat driving swine of the earth, League of Legends players are probably classifying her behavior up to this point as soft inting, we were just too Yasuo main brain dead to realize the 200 IQ strat, and that she was just making this Silas more valuable to slaughter, like a pig farmer feeding the shit out of his prized pig in hopes of making it into a damn ham worth, I don't know, $600 one day, and that right there is just genius. Then we go through a suspicious period of time where for a good 30 seconds no one stops by to question why this doll that looks like one of Sneaky's Chicka's plays is trying to give a literal statue a fresh crew cut, but it becomes easier to put the pieces to the MIA puzzle together when she discovers they are all tickling the inside of her jungler's belly button from within his burning outnumbered asshole. But she correctly handles the situation by offering them free crew cuts, recommending they look good on killers but they are SPV no in the form of murder, and then Echo gets deja vu of a time when he was running straight into danger. So Bondage Boy may be more fed than a dash hound in a deli counter, but if there is one thing we have learned from Sheila, it's that she doesn't back down in the face of adversity, and if he had just like 99% less health, this one would have been a real nail biter. But as the famous saying goes, when life gives you a legendary Silas, the living embodiment of unkillable 200 years of game design experience, you avoid that shit like the 11th plague, so ignoring the precedent set by Set of managing to hit 0 of the 4 viable targets in the area, she does Fiddle a favor by ending the embarrassment he was making of himself as she heads deeper into danger to impersonate a waddling cotton ball and meme on that ruined simp for the double before saying let's make like an ill-fated skydiver and bounce. And in the spirit of League being a game around continuous self-improvement, she chooses to head back top to challenge the man with 10 kills, 2 chains and tons of questions issued to the Riot Balancer team every hour about his mere presence. And while the outcome of the fight was the same as the last 4 attempts, I think we can all grant Sheila the award for most improved feeder after that one. Then she gets a request to make a house call across town to borrow her absurdly swollen scissors to neuter an albino drake, keep it a rare breed, which went well until a bunch of red bars invade the area, so she marinates a bit in the fiddle ult to amp her up, a little pain to spark that fearless I'm going in attitude that never ends poorly in League. But a minute later she once again finds herself bailing out her teammates like they are the Nelk boys when it's not a good time to full send, which was going fine until that damn yelping Yeti rider's presence with literally 2% health gives her the hope that this is now easily winnable. Who can blame the Barbie barber for misinterpreting that one when he clearly could have contributed a bit more there? Anyways, a little team bonding ensues to pick up the spirits, fix up that updo the timeless Mohawk man is rocking to get them back on track to rally and vandalize a statue, but unfortunately 50 Shades of Gwen Buffet is having none of the harmless fun, so she selflessly turns herself in so that Marty McFly can escape, but he would rather get nostalgic and go back to a time when he was still being a brain-dead moron. And I have to say I am not a fan of this little Tucker time twat hanging around Super Sheila so much. He's a bad influence, as before all of her actions had meaning, like when she fed champions it was all in the name of the prized pig master plan type of 200 IQ, but now he has her making like a Windows 10 user and living life on edge, which any sane human can tell you is a mistake. But at least he has so much juke Nissan had to contact him for rights to use that name for their ugly ass car in 2011. So I am happy to see they have separated here in the next clip, which is good because you can see her cogs spinning thinking about how they can turn this one around, and a brilliant plan comes to mind as the C in ADC stands for carry, so she will just do her best earthworm on a fishing hook impersonation, and I think it's safe to say teaching that archer how to catch a fish will turn her into one badass motherfucker later. Anyways, our little sacrificial lamb heads back bot to get her simp snip on with the Red Robe Academy until Silas goes full creeper Michael Myers status staring from the side. But this Gwen grew up with Eleanor Roosevelt as her role model, who famously said, "You gain strength, courage and confidence by every experience in which you really stop to look fear in the face," and that's exactly what our little Sheila did as she got tied up, bounced around and chain banged to oblivion. And at this point some of you may be saying this behavior is borderline reportable, but what you don't realize is that this is just part of the master plan that oh so elegantly results in this scissor savant's whopping 34% win rate, as her awareness of being worth only slightly more than a caster minion is complemented by her devious diversion tactics to constantly pull the enemy team's ultra-fed hyper carry away from team fights all the way across the map just to collect his next tiny limp dick allowance from her. And you have to give this young lady a break when you are just in a constant state of innovating big brain ways to win games that to an uneducated eye would look like you are just steamroll gas pedal is stuck running it down. Occasionally you have a mental lapse from the stress breakdown and have minor mistakes like walking straight into oncoming traffic. But then right back at it because you can't spell split push without scissors or some shit like that, and I have to say this blue-haired barber really excels when no enemies are in the area, as we see her complete just a ruthless objective genocide before grouping up with her team, ending a tough day of work with a dive into the deep end of some dangerous digging. So then we are on to the solo Baron strategy OP until the ADHD hits hard. She calls a Zeus Uber to take her to their base, and I hope you all have filled your notebooks up from that insane haircutter clinic, because the innovative strats that we saw Super Sheila apply today to single-handedly earn her team that fat moist victory will be coming soon to a rift near you. Rav out.
With Ravi boy, I'm in your crib with the blappy boy. Talk to me slick and I'm popping your pappy. If happy talk back, then I'm taking your Grammy, and boy oh boy, I'll make her happy.